I had to put the mask on just so y'all know what's good. Read it. I want the Saints fans to come on through. Eat your heart out. Safety first. No, we ain't got nobody in here. I'm just messing with y'all. But y'all know what time it is all day, every day. Y'all come on through so we can get this started. We're going to cover a few things and let people get into this presidential debate. I know the world, y'all. we got to pay attention to what's going on. We have a big decision to make come November. What's good? How's everybody doing? How y'all feeling? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to the folks. It's like the first day we haven't had a sports game to watch at this time in a minute. We've been overloaded with sports. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining one bit. Every night it's like, which game is on? Not, is there a game on, but which game is on? What up, Jamisa? What up, Carl with Dunlaps? Got my besties in here. Shout out Elle. Shout out Kedra. It's popping. Good to see y'all on this Tuesday. Ooh. Go Lions, he says. You know. Y'all pulled out a win. I sure wasn't expecting it on Sunday. But I guess. You know what they say? Clock is right. A broken clock is right twice a day. There you go, Lions. That was your one. Hey, my cousin Nene is here. Shout out Nene. Shout out my family. A lot of my family in Chicago, y'all, they don't have Instagram, so they're here in spirit. So, we're going to give everybody just a couple more minutes, and we're going to get started. Join the live. So stuff looks a little different for right now because I'm in transition. But y'all know I normally have all my gear up, everything ready to go. Cousin Donovan, big up! Boop, 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 boop. Shout out Jamaica. Shout out the worldwide connection. Yeah, Lions. So cold. Maybe they need to thaw out a little bit so they can play right. I'm just saying. You know, because Detroit teams be Detroiting. I'm just saying. Hey, shout out King James. Y'all rep y'all squads. Rep your team, rep your sport, rep your squad. That's what it's about, because y'all can see. Y'all see, I'm a rep mines. To the day that I die, I'm a rep mines. You better believe it. Shout out to everybody that's here. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know this was kind of short notice, less than a week. I decided to get back into it. And I'm happy to see the people who are here. Okay, Cowboys. Okay, Triple D, stand up. You know, I got the Stars, you know. Our poor Stars didn't make it. But I still got love. Ohio State Buckeyes. Shout out. I think they're finna start playing again. That'll be exciting. Our Queen Serena Williams. Now, if we want to start talking GOAT athletes, don't forget Queen Serena. You know? Naomi been holding us down, but let's not forget Queen Serena. GOAT Serena. She bad. She just dominate. I like athletes that dominate. You know what I'm saying? So, Queen Serena. Period. Stay dominating. So to pop it off, like I do usually every episode that I've made, I started off with I'm not finna play with you in the I ain't playing spirit. And I have to start this week off because I'm not finna play with either the Eagles or the Bengals. Because both of them played for a tie. And I hate that football will let you end in a tie. And so sometimes teams seem like they play for the tie. Like, who wants a record that says 9-6-1? Ew. Who wants that one on the end of their record? Nobody. Except for it seemed like the Eagles and the Bengals wanted the one. They were happy with the one. And I'm not going to play with them because I want a winner. You should play to win always. Now, I understand mistakes happen and things choke up, but play for the win. Do not play for the tie. Nobody wants to see that. If we have to go to 5 OTs, we're going to go to 5 OTs and get a winner. But not in football. And so Eagles, report here. Bengals, report here. And tell me why y'all can't go for the win. Like, come on, guys. I'm not going to play with y'all at all. But kicking into NFL, y'all know I'm a Packers fan. So we're going to dissect the Packers game first. First and foremost, that was the game that America wanted to see. You know, Sunday night, primetime live, 2 elite quarterbacks going head to head. You know, it's crazy because the Saints and the Packers don't play enough for my liking, because I would like to see more of, you know, elite quarterbacks going up against each other, more of top teams facing off and deciding before the playoffs, like, who's the better team, who's coming with it this year. Like, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady did not play enough for my liking while Tom was in New England. And so now that he's with Tampa Bay, I mean, I got to see. It's not the Belichick system, so I don't have too much faith in Tom, but I want to see these teams face off. I want to see these quarterbacks go head to head. So we got that matchup on Sunday. You know, it was a great matchup. It was a good game. It actually was a really good game. Good back and forth scoring. The victors were the team to beat, in my opinion. If you look at us, you got to put up 40 to come play. If you want to come against us, you got to put up at least 38, apparently, to beat the Packers. And that's a big thing because, you know, this is a high-scoring league at times, but it doesn't seem like everybody's on that high-scoring drive right now. So, some of the things where we went right, Aaron. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man, as y'all know. Now, what I love that I saw from him is that we didn't have Devontae Adams. We didn't have our number one receiver. But Aaron was spreading the ball like mayonnaise, okay? Aaron will get the ball out to whoever's willing to catch it. And that's what I like that I saw. Allen Lazard stamped up last season when Devontae went down. So guess what? This season when Devontae goes down, look for Allen Lazard to step up and catch those passes. And it was amazing. You know, some bullets, some long. I love when it goes long. Like, I was wondering if, you know, when we lost Jordy, if we were just going to see Aaron go yard with the ball. And baby, what do we see on Sunday night? We saw him go yard with that ball to Allen Lazard. So, Aaron, I love when he spreads the ball out. Mercedes Lewis caught a touchdown. You know, Aaron Jones can catch. He can play receiver when he's not running the ball. So, kudos to Aaron for, finding targets, because that's something that we didn't see from Breeze. So Breeze didn't have Michael Thomas, and it seemed like that just stunted his game. So you got to elevate, Breeze. You got to spread the ball out. You got to find other targets. You got Emmanuel Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Like, throw the ball to him. Throw the ball to other players. Other players got to step up. But you got to trust in them as the quarterback to handle those passes. So it can't just be your star player go down and, oh, there goes the offense. It's got to go around, baby. Watch Aaron. He'll show you how it's done. Something else we had, Aaron Jones. He was stuffed until the defense wore out. So long as we keep our clock management, keep our offense on the field as much as possible, keep driving and driving and driving, that defense is going to wear out no matter who we're playing against. First half, they stuffed Aaron Jones. He would pick up 4, he would pick up a little bit, but you didn't see him have those breakout runs, like he was doing on other teams, because the defense was ready for him until they got tired. So clock management, ball control equals Aaron Jones being able to eventually do Aaron Jones. Like, Aaron squared gonna make it happen so long as Aaron Rodgers is protecting the ball, throwing the ball, driving down the field. Aaron Jones gonna get an opportunity to get his yards up and to get his points going. So if you don't have Aaron or the other Aaron on your fantasy team, what are you doing? If you didn't even try to get them, because you may not get them, but if you didn't try to get the Aarons, you sleep, wake up. All right. Allen Lazard is a monster. We know this. We saw this last season. People thought it was a fluke, but he came to let you know in 2020, Allen Lazard ain't going nowhere. It's going to be interesting to see once Devontae gets back healthy, when he gets back in, how we're going to use both of them. But Allen Lazard is the future. Davante Adams is still the right now. I ain't taking nothing from him. They better both stay. But now that we have a dual threat in the receivers, watch out. Watch out now, because it's going to be points. I'm telling you, 40 points. You got to come with 40 points to beat us. And that's the way it's going to be, because Aaron is going to spread it out. He's going to make it happen. All right? And turnover creation. Our defense, our D-train. In the beginning of the game, it seemed like they were a little off, had to figure some things out. But what they were doing is they were knocking that ball out. And if you were watching the game with me, one thing you might have heard or you might have saw or heard me say is that, look, we keep knocking that ball out, one going to come our way. It's the law of averages, right? 1 out of every 3. So we popped that ball out once, Saints recovered. Popped it out twice, Saints recovered. What happened on that third time? It was our ball. So what I loved is that we were able to create those turnovers without having turnovers of our own. Some things that we can improve upon is we gave up way too many plays to Alvin Kamara. So that makes me nervous for when we go against a Derrick Henry, or when we go against a Lair, or when we go against a Tyreek Hill or something, because we gave up a bunch of good plays. And with teams that are clicking better and playing better, they're going to be able to capitalize on those opportunities. And it's going to be a real challenge for us if we ever have to play from behind. One of the things that we did here is we didn't let the gap get too far, because that's some of the things that I saw last season was we would play from behind and then have to scrounge up in the second half and try and create a win. And sometimes it was too much. But this season, if we can stay on top, or, make sure that the gap is not too much, we're not coming from 10 or 14 or more points down. If we can stay on top of that, and that's on our defense, our D-train. They love to celebrate. They get hyped when they create some things, but I need them to really make some stops, because when we go up against the 49ers and the Chiefs and teams like that came to play this season as well, we're going to have to make sure that our defense steps it up. And we sometimes get to these slow starts. I don't know what it is. First quarter, we settle for field goals often, and I don't like that. I want to see 7 points every time, of course, but I want us to capitalize on those opportunities where we get into the red zone. Every entrance into the red zone should be 7. You know, we have that kind of team. We have that kind of offensive line. We have that kind of running game. And we have the greatest quarterback in the league, hands down, period. Argue with your mammy about it. It's Aaron Rodgers, period. But with those weapons, we should be able to be a dominant force. Like, our offense should just go. Points on the board, period. Okay? And so then we did allow the Saints to get back into the game, because there was a point where we could have pulled off. We could have definitely taken it to them and hurt their feelings early and let it be that. But we did let them get back into the game. And so those are the types of things where I can see opportunities for us to get better, so that next time we blowing these teams out. We are the I'll say we're the number 2, because I'll let the defending champions, you know, hold their crown. They looking good. You know, Patrick Mahomes, very Brett Favre-like, if you ask me. So, you know, they're doing great. So I'll say we're the number 2 team, because we don't have that reigning championship. But right now, if you ask me anybody else other than the Chiefs who's coming for the Packers, you got to put up some stats to show me, because, baby, we're number 2. We in there. And so we need to play like it. I don't want these teams to even think that they have a chance against us. That's my take on Sunday night's game. I think the Saints will play better. I think they will play better as the season goes. Definitely when Michael Thomas comes back, you're going to see more of the Saints we saw last year. But I do think that we exposed a lot in them. And you're going to see other teams in the NFC rise to the top. I think the Saints had their chances. They had plenty of chances to have another championship in that city. And for some reason, the postseason is not for them. And I think Breeze is at the end of his career. No shade, you know, but he's up there. And I don't think they have that. Those opportunities are not going to keep coming for them. So I think this is it, because I don't think they're better than the 49ers. They're not better than us, clearly. And anybody else, I just don't see how they're just going to dominate, you know, the NFC. But any given Sunday, I think they will have a winning season, at least 10-6 or better. For us, I say 13-3. Again, I say NFC Championship. For the Saints, I don't know if the NFC Championship is their goal. And if that's, you know, if they don't make it there, it's a bust season for them. But for us, the Green Bay Packers, definitely. If we do not make it to that NFC Championship game, it is a bust. The season is a fail for me. Because we are that caliber team. We got there last year with a team that wasn't playing like they're playing this year. So we should get back there. Super Bowl bound. I'll let you girl. You heard it here first. I ain't playing. All right. Now, on to the undefeated teams in the NFL. We have the Bears. The Chicago Bears are undefeated. They are currently 3-0. How y'all let that happen, I don't know. Because anytime that they start their season playing against us, that don't happen. But they pushed the games back, gave them a little chance. But you and I know the Bears will be exposed. They will be exposed. They will come up against an opponent that's not going to let them come back like the Atlanta Falcons did, like they continually do. And they're going to be exposed for who they are, who they really are. The Seahawks, they are looking good. Russell Wilson, you can never count him out anytime. No matter what season it's been, since he's come in the league, you can never count the Seahawks out. They used to be a thorn in our side. I believe we have their number now. We beat them in the playoffs last year. I think that was a big confidence booster for Aaron, because, you know, sometimes it's just those certain teams that you just can't get past. The 49ers seem to be that still. Like, Aaron cannot get past the 49ers for some reason. This is going to be the year. But in the past. But the Seahawks, they definitely were that for us for a while. But I think when they go up against the elite teams as well, like us, like the 49ers, like I said, like the Chiefs, like the Ravens, teams like that, the Steelers. If the Seahawks play teams like that, I don't think they're going to get those chances. Even though they did beat Cam and the Patriots, their number's going to be running out soon. Like, they're not going to be able to have all these close games and keep coming out with wins. Somebody somewhere is going to knock them off that horse. So I see them not maintaining that for long. But on the AFC side, the Chiefs and the Steelers, they looking good. Okay? The Chiefs are just, man, they're a good team. I can't even hate. Travis Kelce is a monster. Allaire, like all four of them names that he got, he nice with it. He's real nice with it. Anybody who picks him up on fantasy, you winning. Good for you. Cause I wouldn't have done it. I didn't see him popping off out the gate like that. Like, he took the ball and ran with it. And I ain't mad at him, but they're looking good. Mahomes, he's a beast. He's good. He's accurate when he needs to be. He's mobile when he needs to be. He takes those risks, which I always loved about Brett. That's why I say Mahomes is very Brett-like. They take those risks. They throw those passes that you're just like, it'll stop your heart for a second. It'll sink you for a minute. You lose your breath for a little bit watching it. But when the pass is complete, you love it. You love to see it. Lamar did look bad. He looked off on Monday. So we're not going to hold him to that, because Lamar, I will say, is up there in the elite in the AFC. But, I still don't see him passing Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't see him getting past Ben and the Steelers, because Ben, I thought, boy, if you would have asked me before we started the season if Ben Roethlisberger was going to look like he looks so far, I thought his number was up. I thought he was done. I thought he used that elbow surgery as an excuse not to play anymore. It just seemed like he didn't want to play no more. But turns out my man's came to play. And they're looking like a top team. But I do still think Cam is up there. Cam and the Patriots are up there. They had a setback with the Seahawks, and it came down to the wire. And the Seahawks defense was able to stop them on 4th and goal. That doesn't always happen. And there were other plays and other opportunities where he, I don't think the game is lost on one play ever. So there were other opportunities where he could have scored, and he could have given his team the opportunity to not have to go for it on 4th and goal with time running out to try and win the game. But what he did, what he has shown, and what I have seen in Belichick's system, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. The playoffs in the AFC is gonna be a little bit more interesting with this switch up. I don't think the reverse is the same. I don't think Tom in Tampa Bay is gonna be anywhere in that top part. But I definitely think it's gonna be on the AFC side. It's gonna be the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Patriots, the Ravens. For sure. Maybe Tennessee, but maybe people have wised up to them and Derrick Henry and his monstrousness. And man, today the news that COVID-19 is trying to play in the NFL. And baby, we don't want COVID. We have our 53-man roster. COVID is not on there, okay? I am disappointed that the NFL didn't take more precautions. Before the NBA started their bubble, I was very skeptical, I was very critical of them because I just couldn't fathom how this was going to work. But I have got to give it to them. They found a way to keep the players safe, to keep their families safe, and it worked. And it ended up being awesome. Like, the NBA whole bubble system was amazing. Hats off to them. They did a great job. So for them to see that, for Roger Goodell and the powers that be in the NFL to see that and not take any precautions other than not having fans, is silly to me. Like, that's crazy. Because what are you doing to make sure that these players don't risk themselves, or don't put their families in danger, or don't put other players in danger, or don't put our fans' hopes in danger? Like, why? So now we have potentially two teams that maybe won't play. You know, we're still waiting the news and trying to figure out. But we have players who now have COVID because they didn't take any type of precaution other than no fans. You know, that's silly. Now, I don't know who gets more blame, Roger Goodell for not setting up a system, or these players who obviously haven't been social distancing. Like, if you know that this is your job and that there are millions of people worldwide who have been waiting for this, who have been begging, you know, to please don't cut the NFL season. You know, I was heartbroken when I thought we weren't going to get one, and now we have one. And y'all out here being reckless and wild and catching COVID. Come on now. Like, what part of this is a pandemic don't people understand? Like, sit at home. Sit at home. Practice at home. Practice at the facility. Nobody else is allowed unless they have tested negative, unless they have gotten their temperature checked, all of that. All these precautions, because we are in, what, month 8 of this now? So we know what to do. So for them to be out there and to have gotten this, at some point they were being careless and not taking the necessary precautions. But in my opinion, I think this is more on Roger Goodell because he didn't do anything. Like, you got to treat these players like they're kids, because some of them are fresh out of college. They're kids. Some of them don't take it seriously. But you, as the face and the head of the league, you got to make the decisions for them. You just have to. So I hope that things get cleared up for those players. I hope none of the Minnesota Vikings players got it out of, you know, being in contact with those players. I just hope that they are able to get a handle of it, isolate those players, and still keep the season going. Because I would hate for any more people to get this disease, first and foremost, to catch this virus and have to deal with any side effects or whatever that comes from it. But for it to shut down our season or for it to affect other teams would be devastating. So, you know, get it together, guys. You know, call up the NBA, ask them what they did, see how you can implement it, make it happen, because we're not going to stand for it. You know, I will write a letter. Let me tell you something. I am the type that I will write a letter to Roger Goodell personally so that he knows that it's unacceptable if that does happen. Moving on to the NHL, our Dallas Stars put forth the biggest and best effort that they could. Unfortunately, they fell a little short. They lost in Game 6 last night for the Stanley Cup. Man, y'all, I wanted a parade. I ain't gonna lie. On Triple D, I wanted a parade in the city. It's been a while since we've had that. I remember the last Stanley Cup finals that we won. You know, I was a teenager and it looked lit. I wasn't a part of it, but I was a part of the Mavs parade when we won in 2011. And the city lit up. If you've ever been in a city where y'all won a national championship, it is the best feeling in the world. So, but I do want to say congratulations to the Stars for as far as they did go. They really put on for the city, and we're so proud of them. But Tampa Bay Lightning, they were a better team. They came out, they saw the way the Stars played Game 1, and it just seemed like they amped up their game after that, and it was just too much for us after that. So shout out to the Stars, shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning, I guess. You know, congratulations on y'all little win or whatever. But thank you to our Stars players for doing what they did, and we'll be back. We'll be back next year for sure, because the Stars, y'all ain't seen the last of the Dallas Stars, mark my words. We gonna be back in that thing. Shout out PK Subban, just because that's my favorite hockey player, you know. Shout out PK. WNBA, y'all, if y'all not watching these girls ball, these girls is ballin'. Let me tell you firsthand, these girls is ballin', okay? If you've never been a fan of NBA, it took me a while to catch on. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm the type of player or type of person that I like to see excitement, you know. Me and my best friend, Elle, we always trying to see the juice, okay? The juicy games, make it interesting, make it juicy. And for me, the WNBA games were not that. in the past. It's a whole different, what Issa Rae say, it's a whole different ball game now. These girls out here balling. These women are doing amazing things. You're seeing electrifying games. You're seeing buzzer beaters. You're seeing fast breaks and dunking and ooping. Okay? It's not just fast break layup like it used to be. So, Seattle Storm is already determined to be in the WNBA Finals. It's going to be a matchup between the Aces and the Sun. If I'm not mistaken, that is currently going on or will be decided here soon. My bet is that the Las Vegas Aces take it all the way. They some monsters. Some monsters. So get into the WNBA, y'all. And don't sleep on my Dallas Wings. We're going to be back. We lost Skylar, but we're going to be back. We're going to be in this thing. But the Las Vegas Aces, you heard it here first. They going all the way. MLB is also kicking off their playoffs. Now, y'all, do I have any MLB fans? Because for me, the MLB is the one sport that I'm thinking is getting it wrong post-COVID. Like, we know baseball season is from March, April, all the way to October. Now, they done shortened it, and they're still having the playoffs here in October. They didn't start till like August. So, and then they were postponing and canceling games after game after game because they too did not put a system in place to prevent COVID from reaching the players and their families. So there were teams that got riddled with the pandemic, riddled with COVID-19. And so they had to keep rearranging, rescheduling, canceling, postponing. But they're still having playoffs in October. So they done played 2 months worth of baseball, but you want this to be a regular championship? No, it doesn't work like that. So for me, and this is not just because the Texas Rangers are not in it, but I think that the champions of this season, it's going to be an asterisk for me. It's going to be a kinda for me, because you can't limit the baseball season down to 2 months and expect to get a winner, a true winner out of this playoffs. It's just, it would be different if it was like NBA and they had a whole season and they were about to go into playoffs and then they had to stop and then re-pick it back up. But they hadn't even started. Opening day never happened. They just went months without playing and then picked it up and decided, oh, we're just going to have a playoffs 2 months later. Nah, it don't work like that. There's hundreds of games that are played in baseball. You limiting it down to about 4 or 5, nah, it ain't gonna work for me. So whoever wins in that, I mean, they still played hard. I'm not taking nothing away from the players. They played hard. They deserve to be called the best of that time, but are they national champions for the year of 2020? For me, it's a no. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Baseball heads who truly love the game. I love baseball. I love watching it. But I just think that it was done hastily. And so it's not going to be the same. That's like picking a winner for football and having a Super Bowl after 4 weeks. Like, it's not the same. 17-week season is how you determine who goes to the postseason. You can't scrunch that down to 3-4 weeks and expect to crown a true champion. What y'all think? But lastly, we're going to get into this NBA. Now, I know I have some strong NBA fans in here. All right? We're at the NBA Finals, guys. Like I said before, the NBA did it right. They did it perfect. They did a great job of creating this bubble, maintaining the bubble, not playing no games about the bubble, and making this an exciting basketball season, like an exciting basketball postseason. They did it right. So I think that we have seen some something that we wouldn't normally see in a normal NBA playoffs had it just been played through, because these teams got to focus on the game and they got to play in isolation. And they didn't have to do all the traveling. Everything was right there. Yes, it created some other things, but I think for the most part, it gave them an opportunity to just focus on the game, just focus on the sports. And so, let's talk about this Miami Heat team first. Do they stand a chance against the Lakers? I don't think so. I'm gonna be real. I like the Heat. I like Jimmy Butler. I love his story. I loved him in Minnesota. I thought he did what he could for the Bulls. But I love seeing him get his shine. He's coming... I think he's came into himself as a player a while back, but having the supporting cast that he does now, we have some veteran players, you know, on the Heat. You have Udonis Haslem, you have Iguodala, you have players who've been playing. So that squad around him has really allowed him to get his shine. And I think they just came prepared to play the game of basketball. But it's the Lakers. And it's LeBron James. And can they compete? I don't think so. I don't think they have played a team of the Lakers caliber this whole playoffs. I think the Celtics, I don't want to take nothing away, but they're not the Lakers. You know, Toronto, not the Lakers. Milwaukee, not the Lakers. Like, it's still the East. You come into the West, baby. It's different. So I don't, you know, Jimmy can say that they're not the underdogs all they want, but they the underdogs because they are not Laker caliber. There's no, I don't know who's going to shut down LeBron and AD and who's going to guard Rondo. Like, I mean, when the Lakers are clicking, they're clicking. So you're going to have to put up people on them. And they scrap. The Heat, they will scrap. They will play physical ball. But when the Lakers want to, they can turn that on too. And it's a wrap. Now, like I said for MLB, there's an asterisk for that champion. Should there be an asterisk for the NBA champion? Going into it, before we actually got to see the bubble in action, I was saying yes. I was saying this isn't a true champion. All the teams aren't coming. But I think we've really seen the best of the best. And we've seen what teams can do and what players can do. And so these champions that will be crowned, either the LA Lakers or the Miami Heat, they're going to be true champions of the NBA 2020 season. Hands down, I don't think anybody would refute that, because there aren't any teams who didn't get an opportunity that I think would have beaten any of the teams that did end up making it to the playoffs. And if maybe one team got edged out, you know, I still don't think it would have determined the NBA Finals. This was the way it was going to be, whether there was a bubble or not. So congratulations to those two teams, the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers. I would love for it to go to Game 7 because, again, that's the juice. But I think it's going to be Lakers in 5. Maybe 6. But definitely going to be the Lakers. Because, I mean, it's LeBron James. He's in his 10th NBA Finals, like, in 17 seasons. That's monstrous. That's huge. You gotta love it. You gotta love to see it. No matter how you feel about LeBron James, no matter how you feel about who's the GOAT and who's not the GOAT, what we can say is that man is an excellent athlete. He is top notch, and he knows how to get his teams to the NBA Finals, period. You don't get there 10 out of 17 years and it's not you. Okay? You don't get there on 3 different teams and it's not you. we got to give the man his credit, give him his roses while he's still here. And I think it should be great to see. Now, the question is, like, how did the Heat get to this point? Like, did they turn up when the bubble came, or did the Milwaukee Bucks and the Raptors and the Celtics, did they crumble? Was it the bubble, or was it just, they came to play? Like, which one was it? What do y'all think was the contributing factor to why the number 4 seed in the East has made it to the NBA Finals when, you have the MVP got up out of there, the Raptors. People didn't think that they were going to be anything without Kawhi, and then they showed, they top 2, and then they got up out of there. The Celtics, I don't know what their deal was. Like, it's like they wanted to win, but then they didn't. Like, to me, they are still the better team. If you put the Celtics and the Heat up against each other, even knowing the outcome of this series, I'm still going to say the Celtics is the better team. Yet, they got up out of there. So, what do y'all think contributed to the Heat being in the NBA Finals versus the top 3 teams in the East? I think the Heat just came with a mindset that they weren't going home. And they didn't care about where they were ranked. They didn't care about who picked them. They didn't care about what people were saying. They didn't care about the doubts and the haters. They just said, we finna play this game, how we play this game. And they took it seriously. And I think they focused on what it was to play the game of basketball. And that's why they're here. So, shout out to them. Now, everybody always talks about LeBron James's legacy. Everybody, all media outlets, they're going to talk about, like, what does this mean for LeBron James's legacy? I think his legacy is set, y'all. Like, I don't think this is a must-win championship for him not to be considered great. Like, LeBron's great, period. Point blank. Like, cut the nonsense. LeBron is great. He's the greatest player playing right now, period. Now, the argument is he the greatest of all time? And you do the comparison to different eras and different games. For me, LeBron James is the GOAT. And I watched Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan was my GOAT. But to me, LeBron James is a different athlete. He's a different kind of monster. He's a different kind of beast. And what I saw with Kobe is that Michael Jordan could be duplicated. Because Kobe was an exact replica. We saw him do the same moves, the same style, the same posture. Like, everything was the same as Jordan. I ain't seen nobody do LeBron yet. Not saying that it ain't coming, but for me to see LeBron come in as a whole nother monster, he's a combination of players. And he's a different kind of athlete. I think LeBron James could play football right now if he wanted to and be dominant. He's just that kind of monster. So I think we need to stop acting like every finals that LeBron goes to is a make or break for him, because he's made it. It's done. He there. So stop questioning his legacy. Stop questioning his greatness. He's great. His legacy is set. Now, does he want another championship? I'm sure. Is he gonna get it? I'm sure. So I love to see. He's got to do it for Kobe one time. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. R.I.P. Gigi Bryant. The Lakers need this. The city of LA needs this. And I think he's going to do it for them. He's going to produce for them. He's going to put the team on his back if he has to, but I don't think he has to. And I think that's the greatness. Like he said, this is AD's team. And he's the greatest player, but this is AD's team because LeBron is on year 17. So, I think he gives those players that kind of confidence and that kind of freedom. And I don't think he has to put everything in his hands to be great. I think he can score 12 points in a game. And if they still win, they won. Like, we don't need to question why he only put up 12. He won. So, we do that to LeBron. And it drives me nuts because he's great. And we know that. And y'all can say he's a crybaby. All of them are crybabies. All of them use the system to their advantage. Kobe and Jordan wrote letters and used the officials and used their blind spots to their advantage. But when LeBron does it, it's a problem. Come on now. Just say you hate the man and go. Okay? If it's going to be all that. Say you don't like him and go about your business. But to be objective, LeBron is great. But to be subjective, that man the greatest we done seen, man. They don't make him like that no more. But that's all I have in the world of sports. The world of sports is ever changing, so I will be here with you every week. Sometimes we're gonna go live. Sometimes I'm just gonna post the episodes for you, and get back into it. We're gonna have our segments. Please reach out to me if you know of any youth sports teams or teams that are doing well in the city, that you want to give a shout out to, that you want to be highlighted. I always want to do things for the Triple D. Put that on Triple D that for Dallas though, but I do want to make sure, like, if there's any teams that need fundraising or that need help with uniforms or are just you want to shout out your team, you want to celebrate them, kids that need love, need to hear that they are doing a great job, please message me, let me know. I will shout them out when I can, and we will help out. We will conduct fundraisers. We will make sure we give back to the city of Dallas and our youth in sports, because that's a big thing, because you love to see it, and we love the babies. We want to see them grow. We want to see them do well and excel. And in this virtual COVID-19 pandemic time, maybe everybody can't go to games, and maybe things are a little different and they don't have their normal cheer sections. So I want to be that cheer section, and I want to make sure we create that love and that they feel that we're watching them and that we're supporting them and that we love on them, our future kids. One thing that I do to end every episode is I tell y'all what I ain't playing about, because that's the name of the podcast. But I wanted to make sure that, I got this point out, because it was hard for me to come back and do this. Even though this is my passion, this is what I love to do. Given the times that we're in, it's hard to just focus on anything other than what the current events are. And being a Black woman and being a passionate activist for all Black rights, all civil rights, it's hard to focus on things that seem like they don't matter or seem frivolous when you're fighting for the simple right to exist and to be in this world and have equality. And when you are constantly seeing different hashtags and different names of people who are falling victim to police brutality and the corrupt, oppressive system that we're in, talking about sports games just doesn't seem like it's that important. However, the way that I looked at it, and it came through revelation, and it was weighing heavy on my heart, is that I do get to watch some of these superb Black athletes shine. And as we talked about in the beginning, you have Queen Serena Williams, you have LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, different platforms, the women in the NBA or WNBA, some of our MLB players, PK in the NHL. You get to see Black excellence, opulence, decadence, on display. And so I do love the fact that I get to celebrate them and see them. And if they can understand that we are in trying times and speak about it, but still go out there and give 100% to their game and to their passion, so can I. So I want to celebrate them, celebrate all of our Black athletes who have been able to push forward in this time and focus on their game as well as everything, because no matter what, you know, I know they get told to shut up and dribble and focus, and people talk about how you know, they go to watch sports to get away from it all, but you know, they can't take their skin off. They can't stop being black. They can't stop feeling what it feels like to be black in America today. So shout out to them for being able to push through and play a game for people like me who love to watch it. You love to see it. You celebrate them. So I want to celebrate all the players who pushed through, who had a message and stood up for their message and still played the game. Chris Paul, shout out to him for representing the HBCUs. Both of my parents came from HBCU. Shout out to FAMU. I know my cousin Nene, she's here. My mom is here. They both FAMU graduates. And we're going to continue to celebrate black athletes and black lives on this platform. So if that's not for you, you can leave now, because that's what's going to be happening here. Every week I'm going to celebrate black excellence and congratulate and just uplift our people. Today would have been Botham Jean's 29th birthday. He was killed here in Dallas by an officer who went into his apartment building unannounced and killed him. So R.I.P. Botham Jean, R.I.P. Breonna Taylor, and all of the other names that would take up the whole rest of my life to really shout them out. But we love each other here on this platform. We talk, we relate, we laugh, and we debate about sports. But at the end of the day, we uplift each other. It's all in love, it's all in jest, it's all in good fun. And as far as that goes, I ain't playing. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. The presidential debate comes on at 8 o'clock. Tune in so that you are making an informed decision come November. Whatever decision you make sure that you know all the facts and that you're making the best decision for you and for the people around you. Because again, it's about unity. It's about what's best for not only me, but for the next man and for our children and for the generations to come. So, love you guys. I ain't playing. See you guys next time. Holla at your girl.